What is going on? What is going on, my Patriots? Welcome to another edition of Joe's News and Views. If it's your first time pulling into the broadcast, do me a favor, go ahead and hit that like button, that subscribe button, hit that notification bell up top. I'm about to give y'all a little report on what's going on over here in Afghanistan before we get ready for the night's big show. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Looks like I'm gonna have to change up and redo my whole setup on my loop software, but it's all good. We're gonna get to it. We're gonna make it do what it do. I hope everybody can hear me very clearly. So without further ado, guys, let's jump into this. So right now, we're about to talk about the report that just came out today. And then I tell you, it's sad, guys. It's sad. The only reason why I'm not on camera is because I got some other things going on. So let's talk about what's going on, guys. So there was an Afghan interpreter who is talking about how brutal it is right now being in Afghanistan. Now, if y'all haven't heard, lately, Afghanistan has been a war zone. People cannot get anywhere. People have been getting hurt. People have been just getting handled left and right. A lot of this you're not hearing on mainstream media except for Fox News, Newsmax, and One American News. And you're going to continue to get this kind of misinformation because, due to the fact of the matter, they don't want us to know what's really going on out here. But thank God for people like Fox News. And we finna go and we finna jump into what happened. So I'm finna play y'all a video of an Afghan interpreter who is actually in the front line and can tell you what's actually going on out here.
Since last 2 3 days, I didn't go outside to get like some food for family to for them, and only like we were scared. Like the time is running out, friends. This is not safe for us as well. Minute by minute, we just like a face to face to somebody will kill us, and somebody know us. The Taliban is just surrounding door by door, and they're just finding the people and they're like getting like where did you work, for whom, what's your name, what was you did. So they're just getting like reports, and I think for those people which was work for the government, so as I think they are not safe for Afghanistan. So if we saw them, example, they will stop us we cannot like giving to them back the answers. If he ask for what's your name, example like that, so we are scared. We just like shocked. What should I tell him? So like we are right now in a bad situation. We work for American people in Afghanistan in a war zone in Kandahar, especially I. So we just need like help from them to help us. That time was we support the American people in Afghanistan. Example, what was they needed, we are just supply for them, for the food, for everything, what was they needed. Right now, we just need like American people to help us. I was at the Kandahar. The situation was in Kandahar. It's Afghanistan province. I think you heard the name. When the Taliban was attacking the Kandahar, we just ran away to Kabul, and we just saw like the Kabul will be safe for us. And after like weeks, the Taliban was attacking Kabul as well. So right now, like we don't know what to do. Yeah, actually, it's very hard to. We are going to the airport. I've been yesterday to the airport. I got a message from one of our friends. He told me you're in the list. You should be go to the airport. I've been to the airport, but there was too many people, too much rush, and they were not like to stop them, just shooting and shooting. We just need like a help from the United Nations to help us.
So y'all heard that, right? They need help from United Nations to help them, but we know that that's probably not going to happen because the United Nations is playing games with these people's lives because they have gotten what they wanted, right? People are basically counting these people out. It's sad but true. It's sad but true. And that's not the only reports that's coming out on the update today about what's going on with the Taliban. They even had a photo op today where they were basically trolling us, which I put that up there uh, on the show today. But yeah, they had a actual thing out here trolling us. A photo op like World War II trolling us, saying that basically we have conquered the Americans. But people are still defending these actions. We still got a lot of these liberals that's trying to say, oh, this is not no big deal. We have nothing to worry about. We have a lot to worry about. We're about to allow 30,000 refugees into this country, and we do not know who they are or what they are. We're not doing any background checks. We're not vetting them. We're just putting them in military installations here, there, everywhere. Not to mention, look at how much of the money that we have, the amount of uh, weaponry we left them, and it's getting to be to the point that you have the Taliban right now, who is currently just dressing like American soldiers and fooling people that there are American soldiers when they're not. But still, you got people out here trying to say that this is not a game, this is not nothing serious. But yes, it is serious. This is a scary situation. When I say scary, it's scary to the point that it will make you really think about what is really going on in America today. I mean, you got to think about this, guys. This is something that could really, really start making us no longer the world superpower, but more like the world's bitch. And people think it's funny when I say that but I'm being serious because there's a lot at stake right now. I want to show you another example of an update. Now, remember they lied to us once again about the airport. I showed you the proof for what the interpreter said. Now, look at what we're seeing here. The State Department is issuing a security threat memo on ISIS. Security threat, plan threat. Let's see if the video will play and let y'all hear the devastation, the lies that these other mainstream like CNN, MSNBC is telling us that's not the truth. Here we go. Here's another example right here.
I don't even weigh 210 pounds. You lost me. That's insane.
The truth is that Hollywood's elite actors can get ripped while adding 12, 15, even 20 pounds of muscle in just a few weeks because they follow a long forgotten and suppressed by the fitness industry.
I want to go to Trey Yinks, who watching this very closely from Doha, Qatar. And Trey, a lot of talk about Qatar being backed up. Again, this all gets back to the criticism of the planning process. And now, of course, fewer and fewer evacuees, in part because the entire system has been bogged down. What do you make of what you heard at the press conference, and what do you know to be happening where you are?
Charles, good afternoon. What we just heard there from from the top defense officials there in Washington does not match up to the reality on the ground. It's important to note that the reports out of Kabul, Afghanistan do not indicate a smooth and clear process. John Kirby just said to the American people that most Americans are having no problems getting to the airport. He said there's a handful that they've heard of reports being intercepted by Taliban fighters and having some trouble. We just spoke with a group of university students who arrived here in Doha, and these students described scenes of pure chaos, and it didn't matter if you were an American citizen with a U.S. passport or not. So the descriptions we're hearing out of Washington are getting to the point of being dangerous for American citizens on the ground, because people have to make a daily calculation about whether or not safe passage to the airport can be assured. If it's any indicator, right now it cannot. Because
now y'all heard that, right? They got to make sure that daily passage is going to be executed. It is chaos. Now, this is not the first group of people that said that. Marines off record have said it. You have journalists that really trying to do their job, unlike the CNN journalist that was trying to say stuff because she gets paid to say the most oxymoron-like shit in the world. I'm telling you guys, this is real. And unfortunately, we are in a situation where people are not trying to see and believe that. Yeah, exactly. But they can't, Aquila, because if they do, they could be charged under this new administration. Court-martialed and all. These are facts. Let's continue playing.
because you see reports of American Chinook helicopters flying to a nearby hotel in Kabul to evacuate 169 Americans. And then you also have these reports of Taliban fighters simply beating people outside the airport and continuing this process of making it extremely difficult for everyone, American citizens included, to get there. Charles?
Trade to that point, I want to stay with you on this because it was tough. It was really frustrating. Again, it feels like the spin goes before the facts. Again, John Kirby saying Americans are given passage unless when security conditions are permitted. even within that sentence, he's contradicting. Obviously, if there are serious security issues, then Americans are not being given free passage on their way there. Also downplaying the amount of Americans who've been beaten. Secretary Austin brought it up. He downplayed it. It was a small number maybe a few days ago. How important is it, Trey, from the people that you are speaking to, that we know what's happening, that the American public get the full picture so we can take the proper actions?
It's extremely important, and I think a lot
No,
of
son,
observers
we stopped
and
because
media
it's supposed to be
representatives have
doing
big
stuff
questions
for
about why the administration
they're
is
supposed to be
doubling
cooking in the
down day
kitchen.
in and day
Sarah
out
should
on
be in
these
there right now
statements. They
doing
don't
this.
have to keep repeating
Okay, so as
this
soon as she's
fallacy
done,
that
that's when he's
everything's
gonna jump
going
in.
fine in Kabul. It's not. And that's according to people on the ground. That's according to video evidence. And it's according to the people that we've just spoke with this hour who just came from Kabul. And I mentioned the statement that President
Aquila,
Biden
I
made
got a lot of
yesterday
Spanish
about
friends.
it being an easy process and an organized process. And the students I spoke with sort of chuckled because they are aware of the statements coming out of the United States, and they just simply do not match the realities on the ground. I do want to mention, as it relates to Qatar, because we heard General Taylor talk about the Qataris and the role that they're playing in all of this. Qatar really stepped up to the plate to take some of the pressure off the Americans when they did get so bogged down with the number of people trying to evacuate. As we know, 17,000 over the past week. Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, the Emir of Qatar, actually spoke with President Biden yesterday. The American president really making clear that this would not have been possible without the Qataris, because they're not only housing people at facilities like the villas behind me, but they're also continuing these military flights and conversations with the Taliban to ensure that flights aren't attacked. I mean, there are serious security concerns on the ground, because you have the Taliban, Al-Qaeda fighters who have just, in many cases, been freed from prisons across Afghanistan, and a number of other extremist organizations now with millions of dollars worth of American weapons that could be used to attack the people who are trying to evacuate these innocent civilians caught in the crossfire. And it's a major concern. And I think that's why you see the U.S. military sort of offering these contradictions, because officials in Washington are not aware, it doesn't seem, of what's happening on the ground. While, with that said,
look at our weapons. I want y'all to see this. This is our weapons. This is what your taxpayer dollars wound up paying for in the hands of the enemy. That's what it is. It's in the hands of the enemy. All right, y'all see this? I paused for a minute to let y'all know. This is what happens when you got taxpayer dollars in the wrong hands. The enemy got this right now. The people that have sawed up 9/11, the people that believe that America is evil, this is what they got right now. They have taken our artillery. And what you think is going to happen since they got our artillery? We have sought them up for the biggest freaking starter pack that any enemy has ever received from another supposed enemy. Huh.
There are American soldiers who are putting their lives at risk to try to help evacuate these civilians, and some heartwarming pictures we've seen out of Kabul of U.S. forces, American Marines and troops holding babies and doing everything they can to get these women and children out of the way, because this is still very much an active conflict zone. Charles?
Yeah, there certainly does seem to be a lot of confusion amongst the agencies all involved. When the general said he wasn't even aware of the embassy warning, that was a big red flag. Trey, great work. Thank you very much.
Guys, I know everybody said they can keep it, bring our soldiers home, and believe me, I'm with y'all 3,000%. I really am. But I'm finna put this graphic right back up here so you can actually see what we're really facing, guys. I want y'all to run this in your head. We're up against a set of people that do not care. They do not care about America. They do not care about women's rights. These men are savages. They just got out of jail. They are now in charge with hundreds of $1 million worth of equipment. They are out for blood. They're not going to sit there and negotiate with the good USA. Why should they? They feel like they are better than us now because they got the upper hand. They got the country in the palm of their hands. They know we have a weak ass leader. And when you know you got weak leadership, you know you ain't got no one else that's going to stand with the US. This is the time they're going to flex. And there are going to be a lot of lives at stake. Exactly. 2 trillion, 20 years, and this is what we get. Now I know you got the liberals that's saying, "Oh, Joe didn't do nothing wrong. This was gonna bound to happen." Blase, 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 blase. But listen, this is why I try to tell y'all this, and I try to tell y'all this without a grain of salt. You cannot believe the mediocres anymore. You cannot believe Biden and them. They're not for us. They're really not. The only thing they're all about is trying to do what they can to save their own ass. And if you don't believe me, you can check that out for yourself. That is why so many people are now turning away. And believe me, the same people that keep defending Biden, they're going to turn away too. As soon as people they love start getting harmed and getting caught up in this catastrophe, they're going to wake up too. But don't worry, guys. Sit back and relax because there's going to be a lot more to come. But if you like what I just gave y'all, do me a favor. Go ahead on and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell up top. Please like and share. Please like and share. I will have the audio fixed tonight. And also, too, be prepared to call in tonight. That's why you need to go on over and wait for the live at 8 o'clock because we're going to get it in. We're going to go all the way in. With that being said, I love you guys. Take care of yourself and each other. I'm out.